Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday, the 13th day of August 2026, coming to you direct from Las Vegas, Nevada. Having a good time here with my cousin and his beautiful wife. We're going to get together again today, and he's going to show me around. I don't know what you're going to see in Las Vegas aside, well, working girls and slot machines, but whatever. You're going to see that today. Anyway, I hope you and your family are well. I hope your family and you are healthy. And speaking of health, blessings upon those that work in the area of health, along with first responders that do the brave work of saving lives every day. Those also that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women out there trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children, the victims of child molestation and pedophilia, the people that are out here doing their best to recover and save victims of prostitution. People always think of the customers, but it's the prostitutes that are the real victims. Victims of prostitution, victims of child prostitution. It's a shame that it exists. Victims of pornography. People are faking in those videos, especially the women. They're victims. People are getting child pornography. Disgusting. Human trafficking that leads to those things. And sex slavery that leads to those things. Curses upon all the perpetrators, profiteers, and perverts that create demands that cause these evil things to exist. Double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 people in the United States, between men, women, children, families, senior citizens, military veterans, homeless in the United States of America. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. So Jeannie, the Bus family, has sold the Lakers. Look, I am enjoying this summer so much because I am watching teams change. The Lakers really, they put together I would say a decent starting five with Luka. When you got Luka on your team, you give him 4 decent players and you can give him high school players. That boy is such a prodigy in my eyes. They're going to be tough. But they're short because their bench is not that deep. Okay, and coming into new management, they're gonna be a new style. My whole life, the Bus family first was Dr. Jerry when they had them in the 70s, and then it went to Jeannie and her brother, and now they gone. The Bus family, that whole culture is gonna change. That's an adjustment that's gonna help the Knicks. See, the only reason I care about these things is because it helps our team. Okay, so you got Philly trying to get a super team with Jaylen Brown and Embiid and Maxey and VJ. Then you got Cleveland trying to pay Donovan Mitchell a boatload of money as if that's gonna give him a heart. The 10 man ain't got no heart, and I'm not saying Brunson don't, but I ain't into Harden. So then that's that. And then you got Detroit trying to figure out what they're going to do to surround Cade Cunningham with the right pieces. They were fortunate. They were on the right track. I think they overreached though. It's not their fault. It's not their fault that Malik Beasley is a gambler. They replaced him with an adequate guy. I mentioned Duncan Robinson. He did a good job for him. He really one of the top shooters in the league. But messing around with Jalen Duren like this, that's gonna be tough. See, because you really can't win. The only way with Detroit that you need Duren. Now, the problem is everybody's expecting Duren to be just, like Cat with JB. It ain't going to be that. Duren is not Cat. Now, Cunningham, I will give him JB. I really respect Cade Cunningham, like I always say. I knew he was that dude as a freshman at Oklahoma State. So he is doing what I expect him to do. But you can't expect Duren. Duren is a tremendous player, all NBA. But you need another guy. You need another guy to pair with him. Now, Tobias Harris, though I felt like he was past his time, so professional though, so professional in how he handled business as a pro basketball player coming out of Long Island. But now they don't have him. They're replacing him with John Collins, and as talented as John Collins out of Wake Forest is, he's not that. He's not that secondary guy you need. Okay, and so they're trying to reach to surround Cunningham with the right players. They made a big mistake in letting Beef Stew go. It wasn't like they wanted to let him go. They disrespected the man enough. They didn't make peace with the boy, and he's now in Memphis. That was a huge, huge loss. Bigger than we understand. That physicality that he brings. You know, as much as some teams talk against it, like, for example, Dylan Brooks in Phoenix. Phoenix just gave him a $73 million contract. Why? Because it's like the bully that you want on your team. Okay? Like I hated Bill Laimbeer. Hated him. But Detroit loved him because he was like that enforcer. That's a real enforcer. Physical. Not backing down. The enforcer's not punching the guy in the face the way Kermit Alexander punched Rooney Childs in the face, almost ended his life. That's not an enforcer. An enforcer is a physical dude that's not backing down on defense. Get up in your face, in your grill, don't care how big you are, don't care. Then it's Rodman against Shaq in Shaq's prime. The only player I ever saw that could really check Shaq was Rodman. And it was because Rodman didn't care. Shaq would threaten him, Shaq would push him. Shaq was way bigger than Rodman. Rodman was all in his grill though. That's an enforcer. Okay? And they're usually very physical. They don't back down. That's Dylan Brooks. Okay? That was Isaiah Stewart. Now they don't have him. There's no enforcer there in Detroit. See, the bad boys is no more. Detroit was bad boys because you had Beef Stew. And he was the head of that bad boys aura. Okay? And then you add that to what they had around him. So now you got Cade. You still got Ausar Thompson. He's an enforcer type now. Ausar Thompson is. But as great as he is defensively and as terrific an athlete he is. And this is what one of the things I always say too. Greatest athlete in the world is declared whoever wins the decathlon. The decathlon in track and field, that's declared the greatest athlete in the world. But in my view, though you got to be a great athlete to win the Olympic gold in the decathlon, to be a champion in all them events, the greatest athletes on planet Earth are in the NBA, in my view. The greatest athletes on planet Earth are in the NBA. Now, you could say football, but football, because of the collisions that take place every practice, every game, the football player is limited, in terms of any type of longevity. But a basketball player can be very athletic, and even if he's declining, like Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony, you could see the decline coming even before he left New York. But that's like you talking about him at age 33, okay? And he was still playing he could still shoot the ball, right, at a high level. He could still do certain things at a high level. And when you catch cats like that, when they 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, that's when there's hell to pay, see? So Ausar Thompson brings that hell to pay. And that's good. But last year they had him with Beef Stew. That's why they were what they were. I think they're going to have a little bit more problems now, again, because they got Cade Cunningham. They're going to be in it to win it. Okay? And they got the boy from Oklahoma, Isaiah Joe. They got him. Yep. But I don't think Isaiah Joe is going to be Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley, he's one of them cats that a lot of us know from back in the day when we was on the playground. Dudes that never really made the league, but you knew they was good enough to play in the league. It was just like wine, women, song, drugs, whatever, caused them not to make it. Beasley is like that. If he wasn't hooked up in gambling, if he wasn't getting in trouble off the court like with the guns in Minnesota, Beasley is that dude too. He was hitting some 3-pointers with dudes draped all over him like they wasn't even there. That's a talent. Plus being athletic, plus being tough on defense. You just lost big time with and I'm saying Duncan Robinson is Darlette, but he ain't Beasley. That he ain't Beasley. That's all I'm saying. Okay? And so Detroit, Cade's gonna carry them again. And they better hope he's not hurt. He had a shin problem a couple of seasons ago, missed most of the season. They struggled. They gotta hope. Cade is a big dude. He's like 6'7", like 235 brick doo-doo house. He's much bigger. People think because he light-skinned that he weak. Don't make that mistake now. In terms of strength, brother, like black coffee, strong, too strong. See? So that's what I'm saying. So they're going to be tough because of him. But all of this I'm saying, the Celtics, Philly, Cleveland, Detroit, They're all notch or more behind the Knicks. They're all a notch or more behind the Knicks. You see, the Knicks got 3 dudes that like roughneck. Jalen Brunson is roughneck. Y'all should know. The boy roughneck. He's small, he smile, he got these little nice eyes, like you thinking he kind. Boy will kill you. Don't think twice. The referees stopped Cat from being roughneck. That's why he's in foul trouble so much. People try to call Cat soft. Maybe back in the day, you know, when he was in Minnesota, when Tiz was there, he was soft just coming out of that shell. He ain't soft. If you let Cat be Cat without all them stupid fouls they calling him, it'd be over. And you add him with JB, and then you got grown-ass man and Josh. These are all roughnecks, y'all. These are roughnecks. And those of you that hate Deuce so much, I'll rebuke you again. If you come on my channel and speak Deuce McBride with the word trade, you are out. Deuce is a damn roughneck. If you don't know that, you ain't watching basketball. It's a damn roughneck, man. Out of West Virginia, out of Cincinnati. Come to West Virginia, out of Huggins. The boy's molded and built to be a damn roughneck. And he is. Plus, the skills. JB, Cat, the road runner. Will never be confused with a roughneck, but he's Havlicek. Reincarnate. If you know, you know. Okay? Shamit, defensive, tough as nails, sharp shooter. Then you got West 4th Street, straight street ball from the Philippines. Straight. And then, of course, Alvarado, who we call Grand Theft Auto 5. That should tell you everything you need to know. Boy from Brooklyn, and real Brooklyn. Nah, man. I'm enjoying everybody trying their best to claw to catch our team. And so all you fools still out here talking about what we woulda, coulda, shoulda, we got to trade. Y'all need to get off the damn crack pipe and call it a day. We got a squad. I've been telling you that. And if they could stay healthy now, that's the only thing I'm saying. They could stay healthy. The league I told you yesterday's video, the league got a problem. They got a problem. And we got the pieces already in place. And if you don't know nothing about Andre Drummond out of UConn, if you know nothing about him, you should understand. Straight roughneck. So instead of having 1 or 2 beef stews, right? The Knicks got 5 or 6 of them. Plus they got street dudes like Alvarado, Jordan Clarkson. Then they got the clean-cut Tom, what's the boy named? Tom Cruise type white boy that could ball. You know who I'm talking about? Tyler Kolek. What? I don't know what some of y'all thinking, man. But I'm telling you, those of us that are really real true fans, and some of y'all, I'm a true fan too. No, you ain't. You don't never talk negative about your team if you're a true fan. You trying to act like you know something. I'm being real. I'm keeping it a buck. Buck this. We good. We good, y'all. We good. I'm watching the Lakers sell their team. I'm watching they trying their best. San Antonio trying to figure out how the hell do we lose 4-1, and they still trying to figure. They ignoring the fact. It's like they're ignoring reality. They just got their ass kicked, and they're ignoring it. That's actually good for us. Keep ignoring reality. Brunson will be back. And then there's Denver. The Joker is another one of them dudes, a comet, you know what I'm saying? You give him some dudes around him, he's going to do stuff. And he looks slimmer, too. He looked like he lost some weight. I think the Joker is in it to win it. So we're going to see Denver. Minnesota ain't going nowhere. I'm going to tell you. Ball is talented. But it's more like a circus, the way he plays. So I don't trust him to play 72 games. And you got to have, like I said, today I'm going to title today's video, The Roughnecks. Ball ain't a roughneck. I mean, even if you disagree with me in terms of his talent and effect and all that, and I'll give you, he's boy talented now. He should have been top 5 pick. He should have been. But he has never been confused with a roughneck. And you need those to win. You want to talk about the chip, all right? Now, Giannis is a roughneck. Bam Adebayo is a damn roughneck. Then Davion Mitchell, off night, is a roughneck. Miami might be some surprise, but the problem with Miami, so I tell y'all, see, you need depth. Do they have enough depth? See, in the NBA right now, the game is about 10 men playing. Tibbs time, and I love Tibbs. Again, you come on my channel criticizing Tom Thibodeau, your ass is out. But he did not yet receive. You need to play more than 7 or 8 guys in this thing. And see, Oklahoma City showed everybody that the year they won the chip, going like 10, 11 deep. Okay? So you can't really beat them with 6 or 7 or 8 guys. And so here come Mike Brown, right? The collaborator. And he really collaborated 10 dudes. And you need that depth. You need the roughnecks and you need the depth. And you need to be polished pros. You can't be babies in diapers, even though you're 7'4", and light in the behind and think you're going to win the chip in New York. When we got all these roughnecks, veterans that know the game, know what the mindset needs to be, and understands the real, and you got the collaborator. So, yeah. I'm liking what I'm looking at the landscape of the league. Now, there's going to be some teams that surprise. I'm looking at Atlanta as a surprise team. They're going to be better than people think, I think, because that. And then, of course, we know about Halliburton and them fools in Indiana. Okay? And the reason I like Indiana, too, is not just Halliburton, although he's a major, major piece. They're going to give the Knicks some trouble. It's good for us, though. Iron sharpens iron. But that damn Carlisle, that fool could coach. That's all I'm going to say. And when you're a great coach, you need several things. Number one, you need to know what the hell you're doing. Unlike Fizdale, if you want to see a coach that didn't know what the hell he was doing, look at David Fizdale. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. That's a problem. So you got to have a coach that knows a game plan. Even Tom Thibodeau. You may not have liked his style and his 7, 8 players, but that's what he was doing. That was his game. That was what he did. And he did it well. Only having 2 losing seasons is like 15 head coaching seasons, right? He did it well, obviously. But you got to know what you're doing, which means you know the game. You also got to have some talent. You also got to have buy-in with the front office. That's important. You can't have an antagonistic relationship with the front office and be successful. Very difficult to do. Y'all need to be on the same page. You need the talent. You need to know what the hell you're doing. And you need roughnecks. Because you got to play some defense. You got to play some tough. The Chicago Bulls, right? Michael Jordan wasn't no roughneck, but he was rough now. Scottie Pippen definitely was. In fact, the word was out back then. If you physical roughneck Scottie Pippen, you could beat them. That's why the Knicks had Xavier McDaniel. But the Chicago Bulls had that brother, well, they had a few roughnecks. The forward, he was like a twin. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He all ended up playing with Shaq down there in Orlando. They had him. They had, they had a few roughnecks, and they had Craig Hodges, jump shooters. Craig Hodges, they had a few of them jump shooters that could light it up, from the 3. So they had enough roughnecks. They had Jordan, and they had Pippen. And then, of course, I mentioned already, the big enforcer in the last 3 chips was Dennis Rodman. Okay? They had him. So that's the element you always need. And when I say roughnecks, that also implies defense, getting stops. See, teams can get mad, and some people can fold up like Chet did last year against Wemby. Folded up like a cheap chair, man. That's what was the problem. They was hoping they only had one Isaiah bright skin, Isaiah Hartenstein. He was a roughneck, but they needed more. Jalen Williams would have did it, but homeboy was hurt. They had Lou Dort. but he couldn't get it done. That's why, again, Jalen Williams, A.J. Mitchell missing them was big time problem. And then the collapse of Chet getting his lunch money took from Wemby. You can't have that. Now, you know and I know, came playoff time, right? Who took the Knicks lunch money? I mean, who took it? Nobody. Atlanta tried. They got a couple of 1-point wins. And that was really the Knicks' fault. Knicks recovered. The Knicks, what Tibbs used to say, Mike Brown made the correct adjustments and moved forward. Get in there and get the job done. Boom, done. And from there, marching on. And San Antonio barely beat us that one time. And that was because the orange curse was in the building. And y'all know who I'm talking about. The orange agent curse was in the building. We lose that game. No coincidence. Get rid of that curse. 4-1. Series over. So, I'm enjoying watching all these teams try their best to hope, pray, light candles, get trades, sell the team, do something to beat the Knicks. It ain't gonna work. Enjoy your Knicks. Enjoy these Roughnecks we got. We'll talk again. Enjoy your Thursday. Be safe. Shalom.